Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is December 17th, 2022. It's almost Christmas time.
Oh my gosh.
Almost Christmas
We do
time.
this every year.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Is everybody ready for Christmas? You get your shopping done and everything?
No.
Oh, yeah. When we leave it up to Molly, it's last day shopping. I've got most of it done. Because I ain't getting anybody anything. All right. We've got I wouldn't say a good podcast for you. It's probably going to be short because Molly's been sick. And we're going to try to see how long we can get through this without her coughing and clearing her throat. So you might hear a little bit of that.
It's not promising.
Yeah. So we're just going to try to get one out real quick. What do we got to say, man? I got a lot to say.
Let's do it. All right. So are you starting with the 49ers game? You want to talk about that?
Yes, we'll talk about the 49ers game.
All right. Let's do it.
Went through the all 22 and not real happy about things. I mean, a couple of things, before or after the game, I heard that we only had 2 20-plus yard reception touchdowns on the year. Mike Evans has not had a touchdown since week 3.
I think it's 4.
Week 4.
4.
He's, I think he's only got a handful of touchdowns this year. Last year he had like 13. We're like bottom of the league for deep passes. We're bottom of the league at rushing attempts, rushing yardage, rushing yards per attempt. This team is just not good.
Like, what are we doing on offense if we're bottom of the league in everything?
It's not just offense. I mean, you got to figure, Todd Bowles came in here, and what were the things he said? He said he wanted turnovers. Mm-hmm. He wanted speed up front on the defensive line.
Up the middle.
Yep, we got rid of Ndamukong Suh and drafted Logan Hall, and those were the reasons why we were told that happened, and we wanted to run the ball. Mm-hmm. All 3 of those things suck. They're absolutely atrocious. But it's not just those 3 things. It's everything. We're not good at anything. Not good at anything right now. The 49ers defense had not given up a 60-yard rusher all year long. And we came in and just put up an egg. I mean, they're a good team. And that's one thing I want to say is that, we didn't lose this game. The refs didn't lose us this game. We got beat. That was a better team. Now, Todd Bowles came out in the press conference after the game, and he said that we just got our butt whooped. And he reiterated that a couple of times. He said they were out-coached, outplayed, out everything, and I have to agree with him. It was a team effort, this loss. We just we got, and it wasn't, I don't know, man. It wasn't like, you didn't feel like the 49ers had to try too hard.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it's been all season. Where we're just not, we're there. We show up on the field. Other than that, it's a low bar.
We're just like filling up space.
Present.
That's how I feel. We're just guys out there. We're just dudes. Logan Hall, if you ask me, a complete disappointment this year. He's only getting 20% of the snaps, about maybe sometimes 30, but he's done nothing, absolutely nothing. I see him out there. When he's out there, he's getting no penetration. He's not beating guys and all that. But it's not just him; it's everybody. Everybody.
I know. I don't even feel like it's fair to call him out on it, because where's Vita? Where's Will Golston? Where's Akeem Hitt? Anyway, yes. Where's Devin White? Where's Levante?
Yes.
Where's the secondary? Yep. Anything. Anybody.
Right.
Where's the bright spot?
Where's Mike Evans? Where's Tom Brady? Where's Fournette? Mm-hmm. Where is Godwin? Where is anybody? Is anybody going to be a playmaker on this team? It's like everybody else is waiting for everybody else to do something. and nobody's doing anything.
It is weird. I've never seen a season like this. Like, at least in 2011, like, you knew they were just, I mean, it was obvious what they were doing.
Yeah.
These guys, I don't know. And it's just so perplexing because we won a Super Bowl with basically the same team like 2 years ago.
Yes, the talent is there. There's no doubt about that. But it's, you got to lay it at the feet of the coaching. I mean, that's top dog. And the play calling is atrocious. It's just not good. Going into this game, you don't even know where to start. I've been complaining about the same things all year long. We're not getting any pressure up the middle. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. None. Quarterbacks have all day to throw back there. The only time we're getting pressure is when we do some exotic blitz from the outside corners or Devin White's coming up or whatever. Yeah. That's the only time we're getting pressure. Our front guys. And when I say pressure up the middle or push up the middle, I'm talking about making it so the quarterback cannot step into his throws. Now, we were excellent at that for the past 3 years. We just close off that middle. You can't throw deep on us because you can't step up to throw. Now, Brock Purdy had all day back there. It was just...
Okay. Let me say about Brock Purdy, like, I am not surprised about no Buccaneers fan who has watched the team in the last, decade should be surprised at Brock Purdy coming in and just lighting it up.
Mr. Irrelevant.
No one should be surprised by this. We do this every... Freaking Mitch Trubisky threw 5 touchdowns on us in his first whatever game it was. Yeah. So the Brock Purdy thing, I'm like... everybody's like making it this big thing, and I'm like,
no, it's the Bucs.
It's the Bucs. What else is new?
We need to do a list of all the crappy quarterbacks that have whooped us.
Yes, that we made look good. Yeah. That they were like, oh, this is the next Michael Jordan. This one right here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, the reasons why we lost that game. Number one reason was blocking. They just moved us out of the way at will. Their offensive line just moved us. There were times where their running backs had 3 holes to choose from.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. And their offensive line was so able to get off their frontline blocks and move to our secondary and then just push our linebackers completely out of the way every time. Every time. It was like we didn't even try to not get blocked. Devin White and Levante they were just pushed all over the field. And not just by linemen, by wide receivers. Oh. At Ayuk, he blocked Levante David 3 times and took him out of the play 3 times. Blocked him 5 yards away out of the play.
It's not even like he's a big receiver.
No.
He's like a tiny guy.
I'm sitting there going, Levante, what are you doing letting this guy block you?
They might be the same size.
No, he's smaller than Levante. Yeah, he's a little dude. But
what in the world?
They just had no trouble whatsoever just blocking everybody on the field. There was, I did that video of Devin White, the first touchdown, where Debo got that pitch to the right and took it to the edge and just ran it straight down into the. We had 5 guys that were unblocked. 2 of them ran into blockers, and then Devin White had a straight shot to knock Debo out of bounds, or at least push him out of bounds, and actively avoided hitting him and allowed him to go.
Not just hitting him, but like
touching
him.
Yeah.
Not touching
Went out of the way. The only thing I could think is that Devin White thought that he had stepped out of bounds and he didn't want to get a penalty because he's gotten quite a few penalties like that this year, and he's probably gotten chewed out for it. And so he was like, I'm not going to take a chance.
I agree. That's the most likely explanation.
Most likely, but still, it just doesn't make sense. None of that made sense. And, I didn't see a whole lot of that throughout the game where it didn't, it looked like we were avoiding contact or whatever. We were not playing tough. We were, that Seattle game was very physical. We played hard. They played hard. And it was a great game to watch. It really was. And I was so excited about it. I was like, yes, we're getting physical. And then we played this game and we just got our butts whooped. And they didn't have to try that hard. I don't want to say we gave up, but we didn't try hard. We didn't try hard all the way across the board. Mm-hmm. So blocking was the number one issue. The number two issue was Brady. You'll note something happened to him. I think he hurt his hand and it was wet.
Oh yeah.
And he just threw way too many bad passes.
Honestly, I think he is having a shoulder issue this year.
He might be. We've said that a couple times this year. It looks like he's playing hurt.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
But we're definitely. I'll get into this more here in a minute. But we're not setting him up for success, and he's taking the checkdowns. He's throwing short, and that leads me to the next thing. So we got blocking, then you got Brady, and then the third thing was play calling. On both sides of the ball was just absolute dog crap. I mean, we weren't trying to win this game. Well, you got to figure we were down 0-21 in the second quarter, halfway through the second quarter. And what we do? We come out throwing those damn screen passes.
Which are so ineffective.
Yes. Yeah, we'd
be better off with no blockers over there, I feel like. What?
Yeah, we come out 7:42. They just scored a touchdown. It was 21-zip. And we throw a screen pass that was incomplete. And then we throw the second one. We throw it to Julio Jones behind the line of scrimmage, who drops it. No, he got 4 yards. And so then we ended up with 3rd and 6 and didn't get it. And it was just a 3-and-out. And, it's just like that has happened all year. I am sick of those screen passes. Sick of them. I mean, we do like 10 a game, minimum. And we're just not doing anything with them. Now, Byron Leftwich was asked about it, and he said it is an extension of the run game. So that makes sense. It is, yes. And, with Todd Bowles wanting us to be more of a run-oriented team, I could see where they're seeing that as a run. But we're not, it's boring. Two, like you said, our guys aren't blocking well. We're not getting yardage. I mean, we're lucky if we get 3 to 4 yards. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's 0.
And isn't that so much effort for 3 yards? Think about how much manpower and effort you're putting in. I mean, 3 blockers. Dude's got to go out there, get contact, exert a hunch for. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of wasted energy.
Yeah, especially when you have the linemen running out there.
Yeah.
Which they're just not getting out there in time. And, when they do, they're not getting blocks on guys because people are avoiding them. That's what our defense needs to learn. Avoid blocks. Don't run into blocks.
Watch our offense to learn how to avoid blocks. In more ways than one. Right?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so then we're down 0-35 in the third quarter. To start the third quarter, 14 minutes in the third quarter, we're down 35-zip. That's 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. Now, at this point in the game, you're going to get 4 offensive possessions, maybe 5 if you're lucky. That means you got to score a touchdown on every single possession, right? What do? We come out throwing screens again.
I wanted to guess.
No,
that was going to be my guess.
At this point in the game, you should be throwing bombs every play. You know what I'm saying? Going deep every play.
I feel like they got their hearts broken on that Mike Evans bomb. Yeah. I got called back because of Donovan.
Kind of like that time Mike Evans fumbled the ball,
and
dropped it, and then after that, it was just like everybody was just deflated. But you shouldn't be playing your regular game plan when you're down 5 touchdowns and you only have 4 possessions left.
2-minute drills the whole second half.
Right. 5 wide receiver sets, spread offense, go deep, everybody.
Do it. What do you got to lose at that point?
Right. Yes. You just chunk it up and throw it deep. You know how many deep balls we threw the whole game?
Including that Mike Evans one?
Including the Mike Evans one.
3.
5.
Okay.
Okay. But that's five deep pass attempts. 3 of them were complete. One was called back. One of the complete ones. So we had 2 complete, 2 that counted. But only 3 deep balls after halftime.
What? Why?
And 2 of those were incomplete. You're down 35-0 and you only go deep 3 times. We didn't try. We gave up. We were just, dinking and dunking and running the ball and screen passes. When you're down 5 touchdowns, we just watched the Minnesota-Indianapolis game. Indianapolis was up 33 zip?
33 zip.
33 zip. And Minnesota just started chunking it, and they ended up winning the game in overtime. Mm-hmm. That's how you play the game.
With Kirk Cousins.
With Kirk Cousins. You like that? Yes. So the play calling was, on both sides of the ball. Now, when you've got a new quarterback who's, 5'10"? I mean, he's a short guy, right? And you're down 5 touchdowns. You have nothing to lose on defense. You go balls to the wall. You play man coverage, 0 coverage, safety back there, and you blitz constantly. You try to get turnovers. And we didn't at all. We didn't blitz at all.
And plus these young quarterbacks. I mean, how many hits does it take to get them shook?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we didn't blitz. We held it back in the soft zone coverage. And I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're not even trying. Not even trying. It was very frustrating.
Like, does anyone care to win?
That's how I feel. I don't think so. I mean, they want to win, but they're not going to put forth. And you see it in the tackling and in the way everybody is playing is like, even in the tackling. We've talked about this quite a bit. I can't stand the way we tackle. Our tackling techniques are they're too soft for me. But we don't come flying in. And when somebody's wrapped up, you'll see guys standing around watching the play. They're not coming in, hitting, trying to dislodge the ball, or at least just hitting. Just hitting. Hit the other guys. Make them woozy. Make them not want to catch the ball. Make them not want to run the ball. And we're not doing that. We're not gang tackling.
Mm-hmm. See, and I disagree. You said you think they want to win. I don't see that.
Well, I think if you gave them the option, you'd be like, you want to win?
If you're theoretically.
Yes, theoretically.
If you're like, hey, Mike, do you want to win this game or lose it? He's going to be like, oh, I definitely want to win it. Yeah, for sure. But they're doing nothing.
Right.
Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, we're not making plays ever. Nobody is. Except one person. I'm going to bring him up in here in a minute. But
it's like a wish at this point.
Yeah.
Sure hope we win this game.
Yeah.
We're going to put no effort into it.
I hope the other team doesn't try too hard.
I don't get it.
Right? That's how you kind of feel. You kind of feel like these guys think that they just show up and they're supposed to be handed a win because they got all this talent, they got all these names, and it's just not working out that way. Other teams are bringing their A game. They want to beat Tom Brady. After every game, he's got a crowd of opposing players around him talking about how that they were so privileged to play against him. And this week they had the guys who intercepted the ball, 57, had Tom Brady sign the ball after the game. And he was talking about, I've been watching you play my whole life, and it's such a privilege and all this. And, that's, we act like, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Yes, he is the GOAT. And everybody else on the team kind of acts like, yeah, they're the best too, so they don't have to try hard. They don't have anything to prove anymore, basically. Is it something? It's driving me crazy.
Well, it's kind of like with Donovan. Everyone's giving Donovan a hard time this year about the penalties.
Yes.
And I think Donovan is, and I'm one of these people too, it's just a naturally like lazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And when you give people, myself included, an excuse, like Tom Brady has an excuse. Like we're excusing Tom Brady for this year because his life sucks right now. I mean, it's all relative, really. Like how many of us would trade our lives for Tom Brady's right
when
now?
You say, Tom Brady's
even
life sucks.
now with no supermodel wife, like all of us would trade lives with him. But he's going through stuff. It sucks.
Yeah.
And so he's had that excuse all year. And I think that's contagious. And I think when you give other people certain personalities any excuse, they're going to take it and they're going to run with it. So you heard Donovan, people asked him what's going on with your penalties. And he's like, oh, I got stuff going on too.
All right.
And so we're not doing anyone any favors, I think. At which we're guilty of it too. But just in general, they've all got a lot of excuses.
Yes.
And do any of us care at this point?
No, not at all.
I'm so over this.
The excuses, the injuries and all that. I'm tired of it. I'm done. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't even care about like watching this crap anymore. Like on the, just the games are a struggle. It's not fun for anyone. I just don't. At playoffs, like we're gonna go to. Maybe we're gonna go to playoffs.
Right?
I don't know.
Carolina actually has
nipping at our heels.
Well, they've got playoffs in their hands. They're in control of their own destiny. If they win out, they're in the playoffs.
And does anyone have confidence that the Bucs are gonna stave that off?
No.
I don't know.
No,
I don't. Mm-hmm. Not if what showed up last week is going to show up the last 4 games.
Now, Carolina's not the 49ers, and let's not act like the 49ers aren't probably the best team in football right now.
Yeah, but we got Tom F. Brady and Mike Evans and Chris. We got this roster that's supposed to be like amazing.
Uh-huh.
Where are they?
Yeah.
I just and playoffs, like, I'm not saying like let's tank the rest of the season because you know how I feel about the draft.
All right.
I don't care about draft picks.
Right. Yeah, right. Because look at Brock Purdy, last player in the draft. Nobody knew who he was, and now he's in there lighting it up and might even win the Super Bowl. And everybody's going to be talking about, I knew he was a good player.
Yeah.
I had him on my draft board.
He's been riding the 49ers bench all season. He was behind Jimmy Garoppolo.
Third-string quarterback.
Yeah, come on. Stop. So...
we got stopped by a third-string quarterback. Mr. Irrelevant.
Ralph, I just...
Oh.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Frequently.
It's not supposed to happen with this team. I thought we were done with that, at least for another year.
It's like the Bucs curse, I think.
Oh, God.
So I'm not a fan of the, hey, let's lose out for draft picks or let's sacrifice playoffs for draft picks. But let's be honest here. This team going to the playoffs and playing the way that they're playing, they're going to be the Philadelphia Eagles from last year that we just trounced and embarrassed in the first round. Right. Like, how many of us are looking forward to that?
No, they would slaughter us. And plus, they got revenge on their minds. Yeah, that would be a nasty game. That's if we continue playing. Now, this is Tom Brady, and we have been bipolar this year. We might pull out of this.
We played great against the Saints. We've had some good games against the Seahawks. We've had good Dallas games. Yeah, and I have all the confidence in the world that these guys can play up to that. But will they? Right. I don't know. And I just don't feel like they care to.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I get that same feeling too. That it's just not, they're like, hey, playoffs, whatever.
I don't even feel like they care about the game or their job. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's such complete and total apathy across the board.
And if I hear Todd Bowles talk about, well, we need to coach better and we need to play better, he said that every week. That's like his whole press conference. We just need to coach better and play better. Yeah, no, duh.
We need to score more points than the other team.
I don't even think he's gotten that deep.
I think Byron did.
Byron did.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, anyhow, after play calling, on both sides, are tackling. Now, we didn't miss as many tackles as I thought we did, but what we're doing is we're wrapping guys up, and they're still getting 5 yards. And it's so annoying. You know, I'm watching.
It's like a middle school dance when they're like, leave Jesus between you, you know?
Yeah, they're just dragging our guys with them for another 5 yards. Sad. And it's, watching the 49ers, I mean, those guys are tackling. When you get hit by a 49er player, that's where you stop. That's the old John Lynch tackling. You know, a John Lynch team is going to tackle. And that's one thing I used to call him brick wall, because when you make contact with John Lynch, that's where the ball stops right there. And we're not even nowhere near that. I mean, when's the last time you saw a good tackle by the Buccaneers where you were just like, whoa, good, solid hit?
Didn't Keanu Neal, fold somebody in half? Or that was a different game.
That was a totally different team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Confusing
memories.
I think you were thinking of Mike White, the Jets, when he got folded in half.
Like a lawn chair.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I mean, our tackling, I hate our tackling style. We've only got 2 players that I think are decent tacklers, and that is Winfield and Levante David.
You don't think Keanu Neal?
Nah, I mean, he comes in like a missile. He's kind of like Whitehead, but he launches a lot. He reaches, all that good stuff. Now, Logan Ryan is a pretty good tackler, but he just doesn't have the speed to get there. But he does.
He seems so docile to me. Very docile. Personality.
Yeah. So our tackling is an issue, but we did miss 7. We had 7 missed tackles in this game. Now, against the Seattle Seahawks, we had 0 missed tackles. 0. It's the only game this year that we've done that. And we played good football. And our defense has got to be physical and tackle well. Because me, I believe football is about blocking and tackling. Mm-hmm. And we're not doing either one of them. That's why our run game sucks, is because we're just not blocking well. We run now these bunch formations or the jumbo package or whatever. We got 8, 9 guys up there, and one of them is going to screw up every single time, and his guy gets free, and he ends up making a tackle.
Here's the problem, too, with these screens and the blocking, is they run into each other, or they're constantly it's like Kiso cops out there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of that stuff. And I hate talking bad about a team like this. We don't normally do this, but frankly, I'm tired of it. This is a team that we should have a winning record. We should have a comfortable lead in the South, and we should be looking and planning for the playoffs. Right now, I don't even know if we're going to make it. And I think if we do go in the playoffs, we're going to be one and done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who wants to go and get embarrassed?
Right. I don't, we'll get one more game of this mess. I don't know if I want to.
I know.
But I am so sick of those screen passes. I'm just over them. Anything behind the line of scrimmage is just making me want to throw up anymore, because we just do it constantly. And, it's Byron Leftwich. It's Tom Brady's not making these calls. Now, this offense is much more different than the Arians offense, because, this is much more similar to Belichick's offense. And I don't know how much Brady's got to say in that, but, he did bring it when Brady came, he brought in more across the middle routes. Arians just doesn't do that. And Brady had him mix some of those in, because Brady's very good at that, and he likes that good stuff, hitting guys on the run. And now, normally with Arians, we would do a lot of 5 wides. We'd do a lot of verticals. It's kind of like Dirk Cutter's, 4-vert offense. But we always had 2 guys going deep. Somewhere on the field, either the slot would do a post and you'd have a go route on the outside, or you'd have 2 go routes, or you'd have the tight end would do a go route, something. But we always had somebody going deep. And with this offense, we just don't a lot. And that's kind of how Belichick does it. He might have one guy go deep. But we just don't have the options of deepness that we did with Arians. And we're doing all these screen passes and these check downs, and it's just like, I'm tired of it. It's just not how our team's made. We're just not made for this. So stop doing it. And that's the crazy thing about it is we're not adjusting. We're not adjusting on offense. We're not adjusting on defense. It's like in that we're down 35-0, and we're still running the same defense. So you're like, no, stop running that defense and run a defense that works. Just start blitzing every damn down. Who cares? Just like on the offense, just stop with the screen and bubble passes and the check downs across the middle for 3 yards. Let's just throw deep 3 times. One of them should work.
Yeah.
And if they don't, so what? It'll be 3 and out. We're going to go 3 and out anyhow with these little check
and
downs.
then with the deep passes, you got the potential for a pass interference call too that goes in your favor. So,
right.
There's a lot of upside there.
Definitely more upside than that crap we showed out there, man. So anyhow, so we're getting, attack. Okay, we've got the blocking. We were just blocked to death. They could do whatever they wanted on offense because they were just blocking our guys out of existence. Then we had Brady was not playing well. And I don't know if that's the reason why we didn't go deep because he just felt like he couldn't. Because, he was throwing short on open guys and, he was just not throwing well. And then we had the play calling. It was horrible on both sides of the ball. Tackling is bad. And then the refs counted 18 uncalled penalties, 15 against the 49ers. And so that left 3 against us. I think all 3 of them were Donovan Smith. Yeah. But, those were uncalled, but it wouldn't have mattered. It was like with the Ravens game. We had all those penalties in the Ravens game that were uncalled. The Ravens just held and held and held, but it didn't matter because they beat us anyhow. They didn't have to hold, and that's how this game was. It was like they didn't have to cheat. They were beating us anyhow. Yeah. And a lot of it was holding way out of the way or whatever. There was a couple times where the holding did count or the hands to the face or whatever, but it did. That's why this is so down on my list. The refs did. It was a horrible game, ref-wise. That call they had on Carlton Davis, we got the interception. They said he didn't hold the guy. The guy tripped and fell down, and he got penalized for it. And it's just, it's just so much. The refs, I don't know. The NFL's got to do something about it, but they won't. They won't.
Everyone's been complaining about it this year.
Yeah. Good. But hopefully they'll do something, but.
No, what they'll do is more bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not going to fix anything.
Right. You got to figure we've got all these guys, all these refs on the field now. They've got this rule book that's, 500 pages thick now. They've got to look at all these things, not just all the new rules that are implemented, but, now all the stuff about injuries. You can't hit here, you can't hit there, you can't, the taunting stuff, the unsportsmanlike conduct stuff, which is very broad. Mm-hmm. And
the hits on the quarterback.
Yes, the hits on the quarterback. And, Tom Brady got hit in this. He got hit in the back of the head by a guy. The ref was standing right there and looked at him. Tom Brady was mad, too. He turned around. He was like, did you not see that guy hit me in the back of the head? He didn't call it. But, you've got these guys, these refs have got too much to look out at. We're putting way too much in their hands. Too much of it is subjective. And now we've got refs in the booth and refs in New York. We just added more refs.
Yeah.
They can call in and say this and that and everything. It's gotten ridiculous. I don't know how that's ever going to be settled out. I think it's just going to become worse. There's going to be a huge scandal with the refs and gambling. It's going to happen. It's probably happened before, but they've just covered it up. But it's just sometimes you just wonder with some of these play calls. You're like, that's got to be somebody who either has that player on their fantasy team or they put down a large chunk of money, that the other team was going to win. But the refs were a factor. But even still, we would have got our butts whooped. But then again, like I said, we got no pressure up the middle. And the crazy thing is, and this is like the exact opposite of what I've been hearing everybody chatter about, our best performing unit was by far our offensive line. And the way everybody's been talking about it is, that's why Brady was throwing these short passes, because he doesn't trust his offensive line and all this good stuff. And that might be true. He had Josh Wells over there, who, not the best in the world.
Can anyone blame Tom Brady if he felt that way?
I would have been scared too. And then he had Donovan. I don't know what's going on with Donovan over there. But Leverett, Hainsey, and Mason, they've done great all year long. And Leverett has been a huge upgrade. Huge upgrade. I really like him. I think he's playing great football. And he's helping Donovan a lot, which is something we never saw from Marpet or Gedeke. I mean, Leverett immediately turns and looks to see if Donovan needs help. All the time, almost every play. And he will go over there if he can. So, but the one thing I got to say, and if you watched the YouTube video I put out this week, it was the most incredible football performance I think I've ever seen. Just shocking. Because going into this, we didn't do a podcast coming into this, but my biggest concern was Josh Wells going up against Nick Bosa. I thought it was going to be a slaughter fest. I mean,
and it was, to be fair.
It was, yes, to be fair. I thought they were going to have a tight end over there, a running back over there, probably both, to stop Nick Bosa. But the good thing of it is that, it's on Brady's front side so he could see. And I think that might be why, they developed their game plan, and their game plan was these quick, short passes, get it out quick, because Josh Wells is not going to be able to stop Bosa. And they've got a mean defensive front. Mm-hmm. So we thought we need to get this ball out quick. Well, their secondary stuck to our guys like glue. Our guys were getting no separation, which we don't normally. We're just not that type of raw receivers. And, they were trying. Their defensive line was trying. They didn't blitz a whole lot. But, their front four were coming at us. And I'll be damned if Josh Wells didn't put on the most spectacular performance of an offensive lineman I've ever seen. I was shocked. It was, I was sitting there watching all 22, and you can look through my notes. It was just in big letters, wow. And then the next, wow. And then the next, like, wow.
Wow.
He destroyed Nick Bosa. Destroyed him. I mean, he wasn't just blocking Nick Bosa. He was destroying Nick Bosa. And this is Josh friggin' Wells. Josh Wells. I couldn't believe it. And it kind of bothers me that the coaches haven't come out and said anything, or nobody's really picked up on it. But Nick Bosa got no sacks. I don't think he got any pressures. He didn't get any from Wells. He went up against Wells. I didn't count exactly, but it was probably 20 times. Of those 20 times, Wells pancaked him 5. So that was a quarter of the time. Josh Wells had Nick Bosa on the ground and was laying on top of him. Completely took him out of the play. And it wasn't like they were an accident or Josh or Nick Bosa tripped on a player or slipped. No, Wells was destroying him. And I was just in shock. I was amazed. It was like the whole team's powers got sucked into Josh Wells. Like he took
all the talent.
He took Mike Evans, Tom Brady, Vita, everybody's talent, just sucked it in and beat the hell out of Nick Bosa with it. I mean, he did. He just dominated Bosa. And he did his reverse airplane thing. He did it like 3 times because Nick Bosa kept trying to spin on him. And Nick Bosa would spin. And so when defenders spin on Josh Wells, he spins too. And backwards blocks them with his arms out like an airplane. So I call it the reverse airplane. Normally it doesn't work out, but it worked out every time this time. He blocked Nick Bosa backwards 3 times. I was like, this is incredible. I've never seen it. But it got to the point where Nick Bosa just stopped trying to go after him. And as a matter of fact, I think about midway through the third quarter, Nick Bosa didn't try to go after Wells. They actually put their second string defensive line in the fourth quarter. So. Yeah. But yeah, Josh Wells played great. I mean, not just great. He played elite, which shocked the living crap out of me. I never would have guessed that in a gazillion, billion years.
So that reverse airplane is probably how he gets turned around looking at the wrong part of the play.
Yes.
It explains a lot.
Yes.
I got it.
It's a move he does. When he gets
it's on purpose.
It's got, he does it so much. It's definitely part of his repertoire. But I think he's got it mastered now because he was blocking Nick Bosa backwards.
Just wait till we see other guys on the offensive line pick that one up.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah, the whole offensive line turned around backwards with their arms out in airplane mode. But the craziness about this, is Donovan Smith played really well last year.
Yeah.
Probably the best he's played since he's been here. And now I would easily say he's the weakest link on our offensive line.
I wonder how much Allie leaving had to do with that.
To be honest with you, I think Leverett is helping Donovan more than Allie ever did.
Well, I don't mean that. I just mean...
You think he's depressed?
Yeah, that's like his bestie.
Yeah, they were
like,
best
that
friends.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been on a job where you had like a real close person and then they leave and it's just not the same anymore?
It's very sad. Yeah. It's like losing
it sucks.
Family member.
Yeah. And then the job is just not as fun anymore.
Yeah. That's true. Good point. Yeah, because him and Allie were good friends and they had that podcast together and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so weird to say that Donovan Smith is the weak link of our offensive line that includes right now a backup who has been not the best in the world since he's been here for the past, 2-3 years. Shaq Mason, veteran. Hainsey, the first year center.
Yeah.
And then Leverett is his first year playing. You got Donovan Smith over there, and he's the weak link. It's just, this is the weirdest year.
I know. Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So the conclusion of that game is we just got beat by a better team. We're exactly what our record says we are. We are an average team at best right now.
Yeah, I think that's generous.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, we're an average team that gets beat on the regular by 1-2 win teams.
I feel like we're like a not great team who's had some lucky breaks a couple of times. Some decent, 2 or 3 decent showings.
Yeah,
that's what I would give them.
Yeah, yes, I concur. All right, so there was a report out that Brady has been changing the game plans, and the coaches don't find out about it until during the game. I think that's all bullcrap. I think it's just people making up stuff to try to explain or put all this on Brady, whatever. But all the coaches were asked about it during press conferences. It was the leading question. Not a single one of them knew what the reporters were talking about. They were like, what? It says, yeah, of course he has a meeting with the receivers. And yeah, of course he has input and everything. A lot of them were like, I don't understand what you're asking me. They were like, is he changing the game plan during the game? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady. Even if he wanted to, would it be an issue?
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a nothing burger. But the reporters just won't let it go because you know how it is. Reporters are a gaggle. So when one reporter reports something, everybody else has to act like it's truth and report on it.
Was it Mike Florio that reported that?
I'm not
because he's got like a hard on for Brady.
Yeah,
he hates Brady.
A lot of guys do. Did you see Shannon Sharp and who?
I saw that they had some kind of kerfuffle, but I was just like, I don't care about those people, so I didn't.
Yeah, they like to go at each other and stuff, but they got kind of personal. They were really going at each other over the whole Brady stuff. Yeah.
Because Skip, it's Skip Bayless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He loves Brady.
Right, and Shannon Sharp does not.
Which Shannon Sharp, he was with the Ravens, right?
Yeah, and he was a defensive player, too.
Yeah, defensive. So I'm like, okay, and yeah, I'm sure he does hate Brady.
Yeah, so it was pretty nasty. They started getting into it. And actually, I got hinted at the Sharp because I think I would have gotten a lot more pissed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it got personal. But, those guys are on TV all the time.
Yeah,
they say stuff. Yeah, they get paid a lot of money for this crap, so I think everything's just water off the back to them.
I don't know. They're on ESPN, right?
I think so.
There was another reporter who made a joke on a panel about another guy's wife, and they got pissed and went off. Like, they were supposed to do a segment right after that, and they were like gone. They were off. Yeah, so I don't know. Well,
when the 49ers put that beat down on Seattle Thursday night, afterwards they had Brock Purdy and George Kittle on the round table thing, the after game panel or whatever, and they were still in their uniforms, and Kittle was there first, and he was talking, and he's a talker, and then Brock Purdy came up there, and they were talking about this and everything, and Brock Purdy said something about George Kittle, and he said, yeah, he never shuts the hell up, or something like that. And everybody just went, whoa. And you could tell Kittle was a little like, oh, okay. It was kind of like, yeah, you're not.
He's getting a little big for his britches.
Yeah, you get a little big for your britches there. Yeah. Everybody just kind of went, ooh.
Like, you might be able to say that in the locker room.
And I didn't even see, Purdy didn't even try to, like, walk it back. Kind of like, he was like, oh, shit, I just realized what I said, and it didn't look good on my teammate or whatever. But he kind of, like, stood his ground a little bit, and Kittle kind of mumbled under his breath. He was like, okay. Like, I see how this is going to be. Interesting. We just watched the Colts and Vikings game. That was crazy. It's a crazy thing, talking about the referees. There was a hit on Jefferson that I guess there was some helmet-to-helmet involved. It wasn't big if it was anything. But they penalized the Colts guy. And Jefferson got up, and he's like yelling at the refs. I don't know why. I think it was because they said he had to go to the blue tent, because he got hit in the head or whatever.
Out.
And he took his helmet off, and he threw it on the ground violently, right in front of the ref. And they didn't penalize him for that.
He'll get fined, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't help the Colts.
Yeah. Is there any help for the Colts?
Oh, gosh. They lost that game. 33-0, and they lost it. Matt Ryan, you have got a curse on you, buddy.
Curse. Do you want to talk about Cincinnati? Or are you going through the
Oh, yeah, no. Yes, the Bucs are going to be wearing their pewter uniforms tomorrow for the Bengals.
Maybe that will help.
Finally. I've been bitching about that all year.
Works. What if it's just everyone just doesn't feel confident in what they're wearing, and they need a wardrobe change?
Oh, it might be true.
Maybe.
Hey, those guys put a lot. That matters a lot to them.
Yeah.
How they look out there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just going to flat out say it. They're going to whoop us.
So they are still fighting for the division. They're second behind Baltimore. Both teams are 9-4. Baltimore has the head-to-head. So,
do they have another game against each other, or they played both games already?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, they're both on exact opposite trajectories. Baltimore's going down. They've been playing like crap past 4 or 5 weeks. Lamar Jackson has been playing like crap, and he's hurt now.
And then Hundley, he came in, and then he's hurt too. He got hurt.
Yeah.
So they had a third string.
And Cincinnati's on, what, a 5-6 game win streak?
5, yeah.
5-game win streak. Soon to be 6.
No confidence.
No, I don't. I have no confidence in this.
Okay. So the teams that they've beat include Carolina, Pittsburgh, which is division opponent. So, that's a little different story. Tennessee, Cleveland, and then I can't remember the other one. So, Kansas City. They beat Kansas City, too.
Exactly. I mean, they just named off Tennessee, Kansas City, and who was the other good team?
Tennessee's not doing that great. They're 7-6.
No. It seems like they've got this habit of, at the end of the year, they just can't keep up with their toughness.
I mean, their division sucks, so works out for them, I think. Yeah. So Cincinnati is, they got a lot to fight for as far as this game goes. So
Yeah, I mean, their secondary is great. You know, they've got that rookie cornerback who's just is lighting stuff up. I think they're top in the league in pass defense in their secondary. You know, they've got a pretty good front. They've got a gazillion weapons. Joe Burrow is playing lights out. They've got Joe Mixon, who is...
I mean, they're talking about Joe Burrow like he's the next Michael Jordan.
He's the next
like,
Patrick Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes is out. Joe Burrow is in.
Yeah, I mean, what is this? His third year?
I think so.
Already went to the Super Bowl once.
Which, you know, I thought that was they lost the Super Bowl.
Right, I thought it'd be the...
Yeah, so you think, oh, they're going to have a Super Bowl hangover. No.
The Rams.
The Rams, those fools.
That totally shocking.
They have the Super Bowl hangover. They're already eliminated from playoff contention. They have 3 wins this season.
It's crazy, man. Didn't see that coming. This has been the weirdest year.
I know.
That I can remember.
Denver's already out. Like, Russell Wilson, they hate him.
Yeah, but that was a mess. Green Bay, you know, they're struggling. They're not going to make it.
They're third in the division right now.
Yeah.
And with Minnesota winning today, they clinched the division. But Detroit's second. So Detroit has is like, you know, fighting for the wild card spot.
That's crazy. Yeah, Washington's up there. I mean, the whole NFC East is doing well.
Our division is the worst in the NFC.
I think we're the worst in all of football.
Closely behind the AFC South, I think.
Really? Jacksonville's coming up, though, man. Jacksonville's popping off some stuff. Oh, gosh. You know.
So, yeah, this game tomorrow, it's at home. We got that.
And we're wearing our pewter uniforms.
I mean, that's not really a home field advantage. It's not an advantage for us. We like losing in front of the home crowd. We've never been to a Bucs game that they won.
No, I never have in 30 years.
That's why Ralph stopped going.
I have never seen the Buccaneers win live. So close one time. The Redskins, when they had Deion Sanders, we went into overtime. And we kicked off to them, and Deion Sanders ran a damn ball back to the 20, and they kicked a field goal and won it. I was so close. I was like, I could finally say the word. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, every time I go, I'm like, you know, we're going to lose.
I know. He gets very drunk.
Yes, I do. Fight my way out of it. Yeah. I think I fought my way out of every stadium on the East Coast. What was the name of that defensive lineman that Cincinnati used to have? Akers?
Geno Atkins?
Geno Atkins. Yeah. What happened to him?
I always get him confused with Geno Hayes and Geno Smith. Like, I get all the Genos confused.
The Genos. You remember how he was also, I think he was like top 5 in the NFL top 100 one time. And everybody was talking about how he was the next up-and-comer. And then Aaron Donald came in and just took over everything. But
I mean, he had a good career.
I think at the end he just wasn't doing anything, and they just cut him, and nobody picked him up. And
he did. I think become a free agent, and then that was it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody picked him up. Mm-hmm. That was so weird. And you know, it's just goes to show how kind of like how this season is. You know, you just never know.
Yeah,
you never. No.
Looking at a 10-year career.
Yeah, he played with Cincinnati for 10 years. 11 years. 11 years. And that's it. He was cut in 2020 and never went anywhere else. He played with Cincinnati that whole time. Wow. Yeah, he had 2 seasons in the top 10. 8 Pro Bowls.
8? Out of an 11-year career. That's just
pretty
crazy.
Good.
Where you at, Gerald McCoy? Oh, shots. Okay. I'm like delirious at this point.
Yeah, and I know we are going into this with a lot of injuries, and they've got some injuries too.
Yeah, so we are going to be without Jannard Avery, Jamel Dean, Carl Nassib and Vita Vea, which
Are you
Nassib
serious?
just like popped up on the injury report like Thursday, I think. Everyone's like, what's wrong with him? Friday.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
Peck.
Are you serious?
But they have him as not participating like all week.
So is he out?
Yeah, he's out.
Good Lord. And Vita's out.
Vita's out.
Jamel Dean's out, right?
Yeah. And then Mike Edwards, Julio Jones, SMB, Shoyinka, Joe Tryon Shoyinka, Winfield and Wirfs are all questionable.
Winfield's got him.
Yeah, it sounded like Winfield and Wirfs were gonna kind of be a game time decision.
To be honest with you, I want to see Josh Wells again. I want to see if that was just a total fluke, or if it was just one of those things, or if he's just hit this. He just burst through this barrier.
You got to talk about your racquetball story. I know you've told it before, but it's very relevant to this, I think.
Yeah, it could be that. He had Nick Chubb's weakness nailed down. Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's weakness. He was just the yin to Bosa's yang.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tell your story. We got to hear it.
Oh, yeah. I used to play competitive racquetball, and I was ranked very highly. And I hadn't been beat in a very, very long time, and I had a tournament, and I played this guy who had basically just learned to play racquetball, and I'd been playing for years, and he beat me twice, and it was the way he did it was just so, and he was getting beat. I mean, he was not good.
You were like his 2 wins.
Yes, I was like his 2 wins in the tournament, and I ended up winning the tournament, but the 2 losses I had were against this guy, and I just couldn't beat him because he slowed the game down. I was a very fast player. Racquetball is a very fast sport to begin with, but he just had this way of just slowing the game down that drove me crazy. It frustrated me, and I could not beat him. And it's just one of those things. He wasn't a good player. He was good against me.
Yeah. And it's like you box a fighter, you fight a boxer. Yes. Like it's kind of, again, like you said, the yin to the yang. So for Nick Bosa, Josh Wells was his.
Yeah, but I'd like to see Josh Wells play again to see if it was a fluke or not.
I just think it's a fluke.
I think it was too. Seeing those reverse airplanes, you're just like, dude, what are you doing?
I gotta see those. You gotta show me.
I've shown them to you before. Where he's turned around looking at the quarterback he's bent over and he's got his arms out. He's blocking him with his butt. So, our running game, run stopping is just crap. We're not stopping anybody in the run.
Yeah, and Cincinnati, they've got Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
So he's a pass catcher, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
But
we're not good at that either. So.
We're not good at anything right now. It is so weird. I don't know. It might be possible that Tom Brady's checked out. He knows he's going to go somewhere else next year. He's going to retire, and he's just not that interested, involved. I mean, I don't get that feeling from him, but
I don't know.
There's something there, man. Something. And I've got to lay it at the feet of balls because, this is a whole team issue. It's not, just one unit.
And it started this year. Like last year, I mean, we
went to the playoffs and we beat the Rams all the way up until the last damn play. I mean, we came back in that game and we should have had it and had a screw up, and then
we were inconsistent last year, but not like this.
No, last year we were hitting. I mean, Tom Brady was the pass yardage leader, and we putting up 30 points a game. I mean, we're averaging 17 points a game now.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon averaged more points a game. I'm serious. The year we had Mike Glennon as our quarterback, I think he had 19 points a game or something like that. We're bad.
Doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense. Not at all. All right, give me a prediction. What do you think is going to be the score? Here was our predictions for last week. Molly had predicted the Bucs 21, opponent 19. I predicted Bucs 17 and 49ers 10. We were
very optimistic.
Miserably wrong. So what do you got going on? We're going to be going up against Kappa.
Oh, yeah.
Kappa, our old right guard, is their new right guard. So we're going to get to see.
And we're not even going to have Vita against him.
I know. It's going to be Akeem Hicks. Who?
It's a tough one. My brain's not working.
Okay, well, I'm going to say mine.
Okay.
I think we're going to lose. I'm going to say 28-17. This might be the first time in 3 years I've picked the Bucs to lose. So hopefully we'll win.
I think I picked them to lose against Seattle.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So
pick them to lose.
Pick them to lose this time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that score sounds good. Can I cheat off yours?
You want 17-28 too?
No, hold on. I'm going to do 16. 31.
16-31.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be closer than that. Because these guys put up points, man.
I know. I mean, they got Jamar Chase.
Nixon.
Burrow is a wild cat, wild card
he
too.
Run it
like he runs it, stupid.
Oh gosh. Not looking forward to
this.
But at least we'll look good in our pewter.
When we lose.
We'll lose in style.
I can't even drink through it either.
Oh, man. This has been a horrible football season for you, man.
The last time I was pregnant was horrible. It was the Lovie Smith season.
Ugh.
So. Worse.
All right. That's what we got, guys. We have lost faith in this team, and until I see otherwise, we're just an average team, man. Probably below average.
I think that's generous.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
And how you do that with Tom Brady at quarterback, Leonard Fournette, Rashad White, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Devin White, Levante David.
Oh my gosh, somebody brought up, which I had forgotten about this. Lenny showing up to training camp like 300 pounds. Yeah. Which, isn't that... Looking back, it kind of foreshadows the whole scene. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a crap. They all let themselves go.
Brady not even showing up to training camp.
Yeah. Todd Bowles, didn't he take time off too?
Yeah. He disappeared.
Nobody cares.
Damn shame. Here we are. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. Hopefully we're dead wrong about all this and just being pessimistic. But until next time.
Go Bucs.